can hear the music.
Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday, and welcome to this episode of DV Live. Again, I'm Amanda Diaz, the marketing coordinator here at Desert Valleys, and welcome back, Mr. Bruen.
Yeah, I took about a month off.
Look at that. Don't we all need a vacation?
Well, and I thought that seeing my mug all the time doesn't quite
Happy Tuesday.
play towards everyone hearing it at the same time.
Gotcha. So after that month off, you came rushing in today, super unprepared.
I think I just walked in the door for the session about 120 seconds before they said we're going live. So here's my questions, and luckily I know this stuff pretty inside and out that I can talk about it.
There we go.
But I got to tell you,
so.
the chaos is, the credit union's working on a bunch of little projects right now.
Yeah, what's going on with everything outside?
So if anybody's looking, they've got the truck sitting outside. Hey, I'm gonna interrupt the stream. We got to mute this, right? Somebody hit mute on the TV.
I would hope so. The chaos. You don't like listening in surround sound?
Well, are you hearing yourself in the background too? First, let me compliment Amanda and the team at Raw Media Productions. You guys aren't seeing everything that's happening behind the scenes, but this is our 6th live stream, if I'm correct.
Yes.
I cannot offer greater compliments than how much this team has been working on making this a fun and vibrant live stream, and I get the
thank you for the idea.
Yeah, I get the opportunity to be the host on the other side with David Santamon for the next segment. But
tune in at 4:00 for that one.
At 4 p.m. for City Talk. But huge compliment to the team and everything that's being put together, because it's really helping us get our outreach. So you were asking about what's going on.
Thank you for the idea.
You're making 2021 a big deal about energy efficiency.
Going green.
We're going green.
Everybody seems to be moving that way.
Well, what we understand that the members' needs are going to change, especially over the next couple of years with the electric vehicle mandate. So, do I think the electric vehicle mandate is going to stand? Big deal about energy. Do I think electric vehicles have a place in the market?
You don't think every single person's going to be driving around a Jetson car?
No. But does it have a space in the field? And the answer is yes, it does. And interestingly enough, when we were going through recent council, Skip Gorman got up and he was talking about getting electric vehicle charging stations at Starbucks.
Okay.
And I said, I'm close. I'll be just a block away. And I said, I'll be across the street. So what we're doing is we're putting electric vehicle charging stations in our parking lot. So if you come to the credit union.
And do we have any in town already?
There's some going into the city, but there's not. The closest ones are out on Inyukern Road at Buttermilk Acres. And surprisingly enough, they're used. And so that's why we're looking at. No, it's not Buttermilk Acres. It's at Inyukern Market. Sorry. I had to think that through
a little bit further down.
Yeah, by Classic Burgers. And but this would be an in-town option where you could come in, park. It's also going to give, we see electric vehicles as an opportunity to serve this community in the future. So we're doing that, but we're going to do that solar. And today they're starting with HVAC and the cloud controls and a bunch of other upgrades. So
preparing for summer.
Yeah, and I keep trying to tell people that by the way, happy anniversary. Everyone knows what today's anniversary is, right?
What is today's anniversary?
Today is the anniversary of we only need 15 days in order to stop COVID.
Yes. Flatten the curve.
Today is our 1-year anniversary of Flatten the Curve. And we all know how well that worked out for everyone.
We're still flattening the curve.
We're still flattening it.
Hey, at least we have toilet paper now. Or at least I hope everyone does.
Yeah, everyone has plenty of supplies. I am happy I got to post that Kern County moved into the red tier.
Yes.
And I know this is all city stuff, but this is just stuff that changes how we do business, really, for the credit union. So we're going to get out of COVID, hopefully, to the red tier next week. So everybody,
hey, at least we have toilet paper.
Be ready to go back for popcorn. And more importantly is for the first time what we're seeing vendors wanting to do work. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean that in a sarcastic way. I mean that in they're willing to get out on site, do the work that needs to be done. So we're going to be doing 2 covered carports, solar cells, electric charging station. We got
diving all into it.
So
everyone be prepared for construction and please be careful with construction crews.
A lot of partner does. And here's the funniest part is for everyone out there watching, having some fun with us, This is called Eric telling Amanda what she's going to be doing for the next year.
It's fine. Job security.
It's called job security.
Also, for those of you who might be listening on the podcast later on, audio is extracted. This is going to be a highly visual one, so you might want to tune into our live stream on Facebook or YouTube.
That's right. Now, do you hear how much she's working the host's angle, and I'm just working I'm sort of throwing stuff out against the map. The key element is the credit union. A lot of people, in addition to the happy anniversary of flattening the curve, is they don't understand exactly how much COVID changed Desert Valleys over the last 12 months. For every member out there who's watching, stimulus is coming tonight, 10:15 p.m.
Check your account.
My staff has already been warned and advised, and we're trying to let everyone know.
That can lead into set the alerts on your mobile
Set your
app.
alerts on your mobile account. You will get a text message. I love that feature. One of the features that we pushed to get done. And not the last feature we're working on for mobile. But you'll get a text alert that says you got a deposit above, and I think we got something just north of $4 million being deposited to members, to about 1,500 members this evening. But to put that into context for the credit union, we were about 42 million at the start of Flatten the Curve, and it's a distinct possibility we'll end this period at the end of March in the $58 million range. So
That's a giant
grown in the last 12 months. Just remarkably giant grown in the last 12 months. And that's thanks to the members, the business relationships, PPP, just so many little things. So
okay,
I'll get us back on topic now.
That's amazing, though.
Yeah,
congratulations. And that's a huge thank you to the members, the community, everybody.
It's all about the members, and it's all about what the community's done. And it's letting us experiment with things like this. This is, anybody asks what has been the impact of COVID on us, you're going to see it over the next 12, 24 months where we're experimenting with some things and making those improvements to prepare for that next stage.
Okay.
Perfect example, there's somebody in this room maybe sitting across from me who's actively working on some youth promotions and member movie night and the return of popcorn Fridays. And
we all know I love my popcorn.
I already told her this morning. I made her sign us up for Santa's Art Shop.
Yep.
Because I can't wait to get the mobile branch back out to the community. I can't wait to get those things out.
I can't wait to be back out in the community.
There are so many things that we want to get out and support for this community. I just want to let the community and the members know we're coming, and we're coming in spades. I'm not letting anybody sit around much right now.
Again, and if you guys know of any events, shoot them over to me. Oh
yeah, the perfect example, the Burrows is coming up. That run with the Burrows,
April 10th,
and she sold that thing out and has a wait list.
It does.
I was blown away. I think that's such a cool, fun.
It's going to be fun. So for those of you who don't know, I will be running with burros. I will not have my own burro. I tried to convince Eric to dress up, and he won't do it. But it'll be a fun little event. There might be some
dinosaurs around here next month, though.
Yeah, I heard that the Jurassic era might be coming back.
That the Jurassic era might be back here for some fun next month. And we got a lot of fun. Guys, we have missed you as much as I think you've missed us.
Mm-hmm. We just opened back up normal hours here.
We're back to normal operating hours with Red Tier coming next. We're just happy to be back. And I took a month off just to be, I'm working behind the scenes, and this live stream is about bringing the information to the members in lots of new formats.
Well, and I think it's good. It helps break it down in smaller chunks, or they can relate and talk and be like, hey, how do I do this? Like mobile banking for those of you who still want to stay home and have that ease of banking from the comfort of your couch in your pajamas.
Well, and when you talk about what's happened with mobile banking, I'm going to do the quick credit union history lesson. Is we got a mobile app way back in 2013, 12, something like that.
Okay.
But it was a goofy app. It didn't show you any balances. And all it was able to do was take remote deposit. But that was because we wanted to be at the very front edge of remote deposit capture.
Okay.
And
that's taking a picture of your check.
Taking a picture of your check. So mobile deposit, taking a picture of your check, front and back, signatures, returns. And it didn't work real effectively. And then we went to Share One's mobile platform in 2016.
Okay.
And then we really made the big change, and thank God we did in 19, which was in November of 19. Thank you for understanding COVID, giving me 4 months warning. We made an upgrade to our mobile capture that allowed it to post directly to your account. And that's a huge change.
That's a dynamic
It's a dynamic change that if you don't understand how the deposit function works, when you take a check and you put it into any machine, whether it be your phone, an ATM, or anything else, you've eliminated the human element.
Right.
You've eliminated that opportunity for me to say, this should or shouldn't be placed on hold, reviewed, whatever. Well, the cool thing is of mobile deposits, we've been able to build an AI logic to it.
Okay.
It sees if you've made the same deposit in terms of rapidity, in terms of history, in terms of the number, the
number sequence.
Your payroll check, right? Mm-hmm. The numbers on the bottom are always going to be the same. Mm-hmm. And the amounts are going to be relatively within a similar bandwidth, right? If I made 550 this week, the likelihood that I'm making 5,550 a week from now is not very good.
Right.
But it's 590 is perfectly reasonable. And so it knows how to understand those bandwidth. It uses knowledge for that. And it's a really big part of understanding how mobile banking works is you are then allowing the picture to be interpreted by an AI and use your history to make a decision to release it or to process it to your account immediately. Then on the back half is if it is something that's not perfect or needs to be reviewed or something that's out of
by a human,
we can look in there, and as soon as we say yes, it hits your account. It doesn't have
that's nice.
The hold or the process unless we have to. I mean, holds are designed to protect the credit union from risk. Well, when you take a check and you put it in the ATM doesn't have any of that logic. It just says, hold the check.
And there's a wait time on that. There's a lag time.
It's 5 business days, and that's why mobile deposit is far superior to ATM deposits. Just for anybody out there, just remember, ATMs have been around for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, 35 years.
They're kind of prehistoric.
They are prehistoric. People don't realize that they are prehistoric. They are a dinosaur of a single purpose, which is to take cash in and push cash out. Mm-hmm. The check aspect got added many, many years ago, but it is not its best feature because it doesn't have any logic to it.
It's not what it was originally made for.
It was made for that purpose, but it wasn't. People's demand or their sense of expediency has changed as check expediency, ACH, mobile pays, everything else.
Instant.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah. It's an expeditious.
So let's backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
How do I even get the mobile app? Well, do I just go to like my Google browser on my phone, type in?
Google Play, Apple iTunes.
Okay.
Type in, you can do a couple different ones, but if you do Desert Valleys or you do if you do DVFCU, you will come up with a different credit union because I think it's Diamond Valley Federal Credit Union that pops up first.
So make sure to look for our little red logo.
Look for our little brand logo. It says Desert Valleys. You can also just the easiest way is to put Desert Valleys in the words. Okay. And then it's available for free from Google Play, Apple Store. And it's just a free app. It has no in-app purchases. We're considering an in-app donation button. Just kidding, but it's very
dinosaurs
quick,
need to get fed.
Yeah, dinosaurs need to get fed, and staffs are always hungry. The cool part about the mobile app is it's an easy download. I'm not going to say that the first time out for everyone is intuitively the easiest.
Okay.
But it's not hard because if you're using our home banking, it runs on the same rail. And you may not have heard that term before. It means that they work on the same backbone. Okay. So your login for your home banking is your login for your mobile banking.
And then mobile banking is going to be more user-friendly for your phone.
It's just more convenient. I mean, let's just be realistic. These things have taken over the world, right? I mean, I was joking with my wife. We went on vacation during that month we were gone. And we went to somewhere where we had no internet access, and that was the
Most amazing thing ever.
That was the cherry on the sundae.
I envy that.
We took 13 devices with us. We counted them afterwards.
Between just the two of you?
No, me and four kids.
Okay.
And 4 kids. But I mean, I said, we're going to a place where there's no internet, and we took 13 devices in order to go there. I said, this seems awfully stupid. But the fact is that, whether it be downloaded movies, music, games, books, whatever it is.
We're walking around with computers all day, every day.
We're walking around with a computer. And so this has become the most important means. I mean, truthfully, this and what we are doing through social media have become the most important means to communicate with you, the members.
Yeah.
They become, this is, everyone talks about how dynamics change and cultures change and things like that. We'll be combining the mobile app with what we see in the remote workforce and what the impacts of COVID are. There's a substantial change in what we're going to expect from consumer habits for the next generation. Memphis is going to experience it.
He already knows how to utilize it. My son, he's 3.
My 18-month-old daughter literally picks up an iPad and carries it to somebody to put a code in so she can access it at 18 months.
Yeah.
My 3-year-old will literally scream bloody murder if I take it from it. And my 6-year-old tried to sneak out the phone, to go to the friend's house over the weekend. Luckily, those are all old phones. I take hand-me-downs, but
yeah.
Children.
Children. Feed them to the dinosaurs. Next month.
So that's the easiest way. Just download it. It's a simple app. The first time you set it up, it's got the ability to do the face recognition. It's got the ability to do, a shortcut login that can provide just balance information very quickly. There's a lot of stuff.
So let's jump in. We're going to have some video tutorials that we're going to run through today. The first one is going to be, how do I deposit a check? And there's some different loopholes with this also, or rabbit holes that I want to go down.
Yeah.
So
let me first again compliment Raw Media Productions. They worked with us at the start of this COVID process.
Yes.
A year ago. Happy anniversary again.
15 days ago.
Yeah. 15. Remember, we're flattening the curve. They helped us build tutorials, and these are available online and through our YouTube channel. And,
Yep. And they'll be linked in the show in the comment, everything. But these are on our YouTube. Easiest way to
try and
find.
make your guys' lives easier if I can, or if we can.
So mobile banking walkthrough. We're going to walk through right now how to deposit a check. In the show note, in the comment.
Now for some real magic. The most important feature that we want to share with you is our mobile deposit feature. This allows you to very easily make your deposits from home without having to go into the branch. We'll start by going to the menu button at the top left, clicking Deposit, and then Mobile Deposit. This brings us to the mobile deposit page where we can begin the process. Before we can take a picture of our check, we need to select the account which it will be deposited to. Next, underneath the images, we need to put in the amount of the check we wish to deposit. Now we're ready to take a picture of the front of the check. Simply click on the front of the check and follow the instructions and hit Continue when you're ready to take the picture. Then just touch the screen to take the picture. Oh, and by the way, if you need some more light, you can activate your flash by using the little button right here.
I do love that we have the Prince Charming.
Now we need to take a picture of the
Prince
back
Charming
of the check.
walking you through our
Be sure to
tutorials,
sign
everyone.
and write for mobile deposit only underneath your signature, or your check deposit will be denied.
Really important that for mobile deposit.
Oh, really?
Once we take our picture, we can hit Submit. You should then get a message that will tell you if the funds have been deposited or if the check is in review. If you get the message your deposit is being held for review, a Desert Valley's staff member will review the check and make sure that it meets all compliance standards, and
So
then
real
deposit
human.
that check into your account. Once we've completed this deposit, we can check the menu button and go to Deposit, and then Deposited Checks List, where we can see which checks have been deposited and which have been held for review.
Very cool.
So you were saying that for mobile deposit only,
It's very important.
written on the check.
It has to be written on. There are checks are being printed now with a box on the back. A lot of them. So if you look at newer checks, you'll see there's a box that says check here if mobile deposit or right for mobile deposit. Now there's a very simple explanation for why this is so important.
Okay.
You have a physical item in front of you, right? Check.
Right.
Okay. You take a picture of it, send it through for deposit. You still have a physical item in front of you.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, for every good person there is in the world, there's a quarter of one person out there that's trying to find a way to take advantage of the system. And the fact is that especially at the beginning of mobile banking,
Okay.
there was a lot of fraud with the check being brought in after the fact. So you take the check, picture is in the computer system, but then the physical item is in your hand, and then you take the physical item. You can take it to the same institution or to a different institution, to an ATM, to any one of those sources.
And double dip in the cookie jar.
Well, the attempt to double dip, it won't work. You'll end up, getting a debit. But what the for mobile deposit does is it initiates again that logic,
Okay.
AI logic, as well as the basic brain logic of anybody who's working. So if you've written for mobile deposit on the back of the check, and then you go take it to Amanda the teller, right? And you say,
And
"Here, can I
read
deposit this check?" Well, if well trained, and our staff is very well trained, they're going to turn it over and go, "So, did you make a mobile deposit with this?" And that's the point of it.
Okay.
And so we actually will reject it if it's not listed for mobile deposit or not checkbox. And that's really not like we're trying to make your lives difficult in terms of membership. We're trying to hold it up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an expectation for us to both be properly insured as well as for you, the member, to be properly aware.
So it's safeguarding the whole institution.
It safeguards
for
everyone.
everybody.
Keep it in mind that
Okay.
we're a member-based organization. I know that Mr. Holloway was on while I was gone.
Yes.
And, it's important to understand that we're a member-based financial cooperative, which means that if Amanda, screws the credit union over for $1,000, it's not $1,000 out of my pocket as a manager, but it's $1,000 out of every single one of your pockets in terms of as a membership. And so our job is to be as resilient as possible.
I'm here for all you guys. Trust me, not just $1,000.
Yeah, no. I'm just giving an example of what a lot of people just don't see it. And so we've constantly been ramping up to prevent this type of fraud.
Well, and it feels good to be a part of a bigger picture.
Yeah. Let's just, I'm going to nosedive right into one of the bigger issues with fraud right away.
Oh, yeah.
Members, understand that your username, your password, they are yours and your responsibility to protect. Do not give them to anybody who ever says, "I need your credentials to put money in your account. I need your credentials to access this. I need your credentials." I'm telling you, the bulk of the fraud we have seen over the last 2 years is related to
members giving out personal information.
That personal information and then not being understanding what's happening. And I'm going to walk through a quick scenario, if I may.
Yeah.
So Amanda has hit tough times, and Amanda needs a loan. And she hops on Craigslist or Facebook or any one of these, any type of anonymous source
selling sites.
Mm-hmm. And Jimmy says, "Amanda, I've got your back. I'll give you a loan." And Amanda feels totally blessed. And Jimmy says, "All I need from you is some general information." And they send an application that literally looks like a general application. It has your name,
legitimate.
Looks name, address, phone number, social security number, email address, your primary financial institution, your password for online banking, and your companies. Now, I just want to make sure that anybody understands what I just gave them. I gave them my social security number, my date of birth, my mother's maiden name, most likely, my address, my phone number, my full legal name, And then I gave them what institution they need to find, and then what my login username and credentials are to log in.
You just gave them everything.
Just gave them everything. You literally handed any privacy over to somebody. So remember, I'm Jimmy, and Amanda gives all this to Jimmy, and Jimmy does this. Jimmy takes a fraudulent check. Okay.
Downloads the Desert Valley app.
Downloads the Desert Valley's app. And deposits the check to Amanda's account. Now, let's assume that our AI or the person, the logic doesn't catch it. Whatever happens, that check ends up in Amanda's account. Amanda goes, I got my loan. I got my loan for $2,500. Yay!
Woohoo!
I only have to send $2,000 of it back to them. Because really all I'm getting is $500. Because remember, Jimmy's doing this for something, right?
Yeah,
Jimmy's
has to pay him.
There's a cheddar coming to Jimmy. And at the end of the day, what ends up happening is Amanda has no idea that the person has actually basically represented to the credit union as if they are Amanda doing this transaction. So Jimmy,
because I just gave him my login.
Because you gave them everything. Mm-hmm. And then they'll go in and do ACH transfers. They'll go in and they'll do everything they can to find a way to put you as the liable party.
So will Desert Valleys ever ask for my credentials or my PIN or personal information?
No and no. Anybody who's ever gotten a debit card with us, we hand you a little pad to put the card in, right? If you need to change your password, it's emailed separately and scrambled encrypted. Guys, and more importantly, should you ever give your password and user information to a third party? No. Trust me, it's a no-brainer, but it happens so often, and the biggest reason it happens is because of desperation and they're appealing to a need. But Jimmy is nowhere to be found because remember, he didn't log in as Jimmy. He didn't say I was Jimmy. He hasn't provided actually any identifiable information about himself other than my name is Jimmy to Amanda, but Amanda gave him everything.
So I'm going to skip ahead real quick. Is there any way from the mobile app to change my information if that happens?
Yeah. Oh, well, of course. Inside the mobile platform, you can change your username. You can change your password. You can view your history. I mean, it's a very intuitive app in terms of that information. I didn't know if there was something you wanted to show specifically for that, but it's in the preferences and features and inside that tutorial.
So if I update my account address, say I move, I update my address or my email address on there, will that reflect on my account or do I still have to come in and change everything?
It'll reflect we request to get it in writing, but it will actually reflect the change because remember, you've authenticated as you. However, we do monitor reports of that nature.
Okay, so
and for exactly that reason is remember we just did the Amanda Jimmy scenario.
So if Jimmy went in and changed all my information,
all the address and the email and everything, so all the communication just goes to Jimmy and Amanda's out of the loop. She has no idea what's going on.
So can we pull that up real quick and show everyone where on the app they can find to change their information? And hopefully Jimmy doesn't do it. But that's good to know that it's intuitive like that.
All the communication just goes to Jimmy. Well, the mobile is very intuitive.
So can we pull that up real quick?
Yeah, but there's constant monitoring of things that we would call general changes of member information, emails, things of that nature. We do that on a constant basis, and it's for just that reason.
Okay. Intuitive like that.
You change something, we want to know. Well, the mobile
And if I may be so bold, I would dare to call this a portal to the website. We also have e-services which allow us to see alerts from Desert Valleys, transfer funds between members, change your password, access
So we can lead
your
right into
I'm
that one.
rattling on for 30 minutes and we haven't even talked about alerts.
Let's go on to that one.
Be so bold, I would dare to call
Well, we were showing, again,
portal to the website.
inside there's a lot of other changes, but you can change your password, you can change your username,
Desert Valley,
and they're in different areas.
funds between members.
So real quick, alerts.
Yeah,
Lead right into that one.
rattling on for 30 minutes.
We're having fun. This is why Eric can't take a month break.
I'll talk for 45 minutes. We were showing again. Alerts are one of the cool things that we finally got working properly about 5 months ago.
So, real
It's
quick,
something
alerts.
I'm super excited about because I personally
I use them.
Love it.
Actually.
Okay? So I have on my preferences, which you can adjust your own individual preferences. We have a list of like 80 or 90 different alerts that you can pick from. I mean, it's a huge list. Send me an alert every time a check clears, or send me an alert every time a check clears greater than $25. Send me an alert every time there's an ATM withdrawal. Send me an alert every time so I have it as send me an alert every time there's a deposit above X amount, or every time there's a withdrawal above X amount. So, I'm not worried about the $4 transactions, that my wife does, but I'm worried about
400 transactions.
Sure, it's a $400 check and it takes balance below a certain level, like balance below $100. What did you do? But what's cool is you get as a text message instantaneously when that transaction hits.
Yes.
And that's awesome because now we've put text messaging communication inside of the mobile and the home banking.
So that same screen we just saw, it says at the very top, it says alerts, and that's where you would go to.
Yeah, and
so at 10:16 tonight,
10:16 tonight, you would get a deposit above. If everyone accept me, the fact is, it's a really cool system for alerting you, and it can be set up for to not only focus on the amount, but also to focus on the type of transaction.
So like ACH.
ACH versus check versus debit card.
Okay.
Even things like you could, a great safety measure is you can set up in there, send me an alert if my, I think there's one if I change information, if there's a change of the username or a change of the password, something like that.
So it goes back to that fraud protection. It goes back to
that fraud protection. It goes back to one more easy step that you can do to prevent. Our job as stewards of your money, members, is to give you as many tools as possible and to protect your funds to our very best. Mm-hmm. This goes back to the conversation. I'm pushing this away and I shouldn't. This goes back to that conversation of your personal information is just that. It is your personal private information. If I hand my personal private information to Amanda, or Amanda hands it to Jimmy, I can't protect you in the same way.
Right.
And that's the biggest message about understanding mobile access, mobile deposit, ACH transfer, any of those things is you have it is your information. If you give it to the bad guys, I can't stop them.
Because I just gave them everything.
Right. Because you gave them everything. I can notice it. I can try and stop it. I can try and prevent it. We've had people that have been weeping and upset and have lied to our face.
Is there a way on the app for someone say something sounds fishy, like, hey, they want my information? Can I go in on the app and talk to a real person?
There isn't a text to communicate right now, but there certainly is an opportunity to do a contact us, and you can send us your questions, emails.
If it is 10:16 at night, or I can always call during business hours.
Yeah, call during business hours, but there's also there's a big Z on the top of our webpage, which is a program called ZipWhip, which allows us to receive text messages. Another little trick that so many people don't know is that if I grab my mobile phone and if you text our main telephone number, either our 866 toll-free number or the 760-446-3500 number, you can text to that number and we will receive it as a text message.
We're fancy.
I bet you most people have no idea that exists. But what's cool about that is the text message comes into a platform that we will see it first off in the morning. And more importantly is you can mark it with, please contact me ASAP in regards to this. There are tools out there.
So if something sounds fishy, I can be like, hey, Jimmy, hold off. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, text the credit union. Call us. That's one of the coolest parts about this organization is because we're still small. And, I talked about the growth and everything else, but we're still relatively small compared to, especially every other institution in town.
If you shoot us a message on Facebook,
the odds
I
are
respond.
the odds are that at 11:30 at night, if you shoot something we can fix on Facebook or something we can answer quickly, the odds are that there's one of 3 people that will probably respond back to you in a way that you're like, what? And that includes Saturdays and Sundays more often than people think. Yeah. You know, if you're having trouble logging on, you know, do a reset password. If those types of challenges, but if you have something that's you feel like you're being scammed, something's wrong. Remember, our job is to protect you. Our job is to try and help you and support you. That's what a good organization does. Yeah. That's just I'm proud of our work on that.
So I think let's wrap it up a little bit here then. So
is there such a thing as wrapping it up with my?
We're just gonna cut them off. It's gonna be that screen.
How do you handle listening to me every single day for rattling on and on and on and on?
I have a toddler at home. I know how to tune things out.
So I am now a toddler. I love it.
Hey. Job security.
It's not that far off.
No. So going back to the fraud, can I apply for a loan? Can I transfer money from the app?
You can apply for a loan. You can. Oh, yeah.
So that's secure, though.
Step number 1, watch Raw Media's spectacular tutorial on everything wonderful about mobile banking.
Linked. Yes. And
It'll
if you go
linked.
to YouTube, you can search Desert Valleys.
And they've got everything there to explain all the cool things you can do.
Mobile banking walkthrough with Prince Charming.
Yeah. I mean, but we can transfer money between accounts, obviously, between, savings and checking accounts.
What if I wanted to transfer money to another member? What if Amanda transferred to Eric?
So the key to Amanda transferring to Eric is that Eric has to give Amanda the information on where to transfer to.
Okay.
Right? So, hey, Amanda, you want to transfer me, X dollars. Here's the account number. They can transfer it. Now, can they transfer out from me?
I hope not.
Well, here's a cool thing. They can if I've set up that permission to be allowable. So a perfect example is you can set up the permissions in the backbone of our platform so that, let's say Amanda was my daughter, right? She's my 17-year-old daughter going to high school. She's looking good for 17. So I can have the ability to transfer money to her. I can have the ability to transfer it to her and to see her account balance and to see her transaction history. And she can have the ability to transfer money back to me. Okay? If I want to set that up.
Kids do that?
But she couldn't transfer money from me to her on her own.
Okay.
So you can define the relationship. And we've got the tools in the system. We've invested, February 2015 was when we did the core conversion. We have constantly been investing in that backbone to be able to give you those tools so that if you have that type of relationship, I can transfer money to you. You can transfer money to me. But you can't transfer money from me to you on your own.
Okay.
Because it's controlled by the account number or the username. So my user, I don't know. I want to use, I have so many different little names that I would use. I'll use my avatar name. So Ragnar, can transfer money as my username.
Okay.
But Mandy as your username can't.
Okay. So it's kind of, I'm going to go layman's terms here or old school. I come in with a check that I need to deposit into someone's account, into your account, but I can't deposit that check and then take the funds.
Right. And you could deposit that check. In fact, you will run into a challenge even depositing that check into your account because it's not payable to you.
Right.
Because that's third-party checks. We will generally reject a third-party check. Again, I use the term generally because if you put a 10-cent third-party check in, the odds that we're going to make an argument with you is not real high.
It goes back to that person being here.
Yeah, but if you come in and you say, here's a $1,000 check for my neighbor down the street who wants me to cash it, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that for 2 reasons. 1, it's a bad risk for us. And 2, it's a bad risk for you as the member because all it takes is one thing to go wrong, and who's on the hook? You are, and people don't. There's a disconnect in the financial literacy and some of those things, especially with the younger generation, and as the desperation meter goes up, and I think If you ever are feeling that level of desperation, just understand that the credit union was designed to be here for you. Pick up the phone, ask the question. Don't be embarrassed about it. But if you don't go that extra step,
For any educational.
anything, I mean,
You see us now, we're a bunch of goofy group around here.
just people. And that's why I think that all the money that was invested into mobile banking and into the tutorials and into the functions, all these things are done so that we can make your life easier, not the other way around. This is about making access tools more convenient for you. And that's where I think we've done a good job. Do we have the best mobile app in the market? No. Do we have the best mobile app for our price point, our size, and what we can do? I think we've done a very good job of it.
And it's evolving. It's not.
It's a constant.
This isn't the end.
This isn't the end. And like person-to-person payments, Zelle, some of these other ones, they become really popular. We haven't jumped on the boat yet. We jumped on Apple Pay. If anybody doesn't know, we have Apple Pay. We have Samsung Pay. We have Google Pay.
Yep.
We've got, we invested a good chunk into the back end in 2019 in the card processing and communication. It paid off dividends in terms of being able to support COVID because we, again, making members' lives the easiest. If you're coming home from work and it's 5:55 p.m. and you've got to make a deposit, the last thing I want you doing is feeling like you have to rush across town to get to us. Whereas make your mobile deposit. And if you're doing it consistently, we're going to have an AI that understands what your deposit is.
So it can be instantaneous.
And we can solve it.
Okay.
Your life's so much easier.
So again, thank you everyone for hanging out with us today.
Absolutely.
Welcome back.
And congrats to, and thanks to, Chip Holloway, Kyle Blades, the entire team at Raw Media,
Tim and
Tim
Dana.
Smith, Tim and Dana. Dana filled in.
Yeah.
We made Dana hop on one day.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them in the comments and I'll get back to them after the end of this. I will definitely link to our tutorial videos as well.
Yep.
So.
And we're going to talk some more about frauds and scams coming up. I think you getting the opportunity, you, the member, getting the opportunity to learn why some things happen and how they happen, and why Cash Pay is not your friend. The Cash App, please. It is not. It is a cesspool of fraud. Yes.
If you guys have any topic ideas about that or insight that you want to know more on, let us know.
Yeah, or even just want to ask. I mean, I'm going to share some of my top 10, probably frauds. The $40,000 RV that didn't exist is one of my favorites. But
yeah, I always love the emails I get when you can't talk, but you're.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. The most recent ones are the I'm not available, so go out and buy me a bunch of gift cards. And actually, that's a great one because I can show you the transcript that we saved the transcript where we actually did the back and forth with one of them just to see what they would do.
So that'll be another visual one for everybody. Yeah. So again, thank you everyone. Hope you have a happy Tuesday.
Thank you, and good luck out there. One more week.